Yes, Miss Jessie.
I'm good to go.
Yes, you're good to go.
Awesome. Awesome. Hello, everyone listening, watching, wherever you are in the world. Before we started, I was just having a little chat with Mahin to say that I was going to say my usual, oh, good afternoon, until I saw one of us here just posted, or she said, good evening. And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot that I'm talking to everyone from different parts of the world. So welcome. Hi, my name is Tessy Ilozue. Tessy as in Tessy Ilozue. I'm a Nigerian. I live in Nigeria, of course. I live in Abuja. And I'm many things. So I'm a myriad of many things, but I'll just share with you a bit and then we'll get started. So I graduated with a degree in mass communication and media technology. So I have been a TV presenter and a producer for over a decade, quite over a decade. And after that, I have a passion for cooking. I enjoy cooking. So I went and I studied as well to get a professional certificate to become a continental cuisine chef, which I am. I currently own and run my very first physical restaurant here in Abuja. It's a takeout store. People just come buy their food and they go. And added to that, amongst other things, I am a mental health counselor and a marriage and family therapist. So I'm sure listening to me, you're like, oh, wow, she's a lot of things. So I haven't told you everything yet. Okay. That's just what we're going to be working with. And I feel like it's important for me to introduce myself this way so that it can give light to what we're going to be talking about today, which is, am I the right fit? Okay. Am I the right fit? Like, do I fit in? A lot of times people talk about, oh, I'm right for this job. I'm the right person for this career. This is my career. This is what I want to build. But for someone like me, growing up, I never thought that, I had, in fact, I always thought I was going to be an actor. I loved dancing. I wanted to be a theater actor or, just one of the performers of the theater. I love live theater. I still do. I don't get the opportunity to see a lot of it, but I still do. And I would very much love to be a part of any. So guys, if you have any opportunity, just hit me up right away. Okay. But going back to what we're talking about today, as a mental health counselor, one of the things that I have realized that has worked in my life is basically the fact that there are a lot of things that we say we want to be, but those things that we plan for ourselves are born out of who we are or who we've been conditioned to be. Every person who was born was conditioned to be something. Nobody was born and then the way you are today is the way you wanted to be. No, somebody put in certain information in you while you were growing up in the formative stage of your life. Certain information was passed across, was put inside of you. And that's why you behave the way you behave. That's why you act the way you act. You're not acting all of these things based on your personality. Yes, your personality is the added touch to the way you behave and the things and decisions that you made. However, the real you and how you were made was actually based on conditioning. And I'm going to explain a bit of that. So before I go on, I want to say thank you to Mine for this opportunity. I don't take it lightly. I'm sure she knows that. I say thank you a lot because I understand that when God gives visions to people to help other people, he also attaches other people to that vision. And I feel like I came into Mahin's life, or she came into my life at the right time when it was time to express all of these things to help quite a number of people. And I'm so honored to be here, talking to you guys. I know those who are watching on YouTube are also there. So we have a large audience here. So I'm feeling like a celebrity right now. So allow me blush, then I'll continue. Okay. All right. So let's get down to business. Now, am I the right fit? Being the right fit has nothing to do with what you love. It has nothing to do with um what you would like to be. If I were to ask you now, those of us who are here, I'd like you to just use the chat box, so I'll go there and then read a bit of what you're saying if I can. so that it doesn't distract me a bit. But if I ask you now, what would you like to be? What's the thing? Why are you're going to say things that sound super intelligent, right? You're going to say, oh, I want to be a baker. I want to be a super this. I'm going to be that. There are very few people who would say, I want to be who I was made to be. A lot of times we all say we want to be this or we want to be that or want to do that. But as you grow older, I know we have different age ranges here with us, young people, older people, people in their mid 40s, 50s, and all. But every single one of us has to go through 4 seasons. And this is where I'm going to start my conversation from, and then we'll move on. Talking about being the right fit, you must first of all understand the seasons of life that you're in. Now, we have 4 seasons, right? In different countries, different continents, seasons differ. Here, where I am in Nigeria, in West Africa, our seasons are basically just dry season, which is the hot season, and then the rainy season. That's what we have. We just have the dry season and the rainy season, right? We don't have anything else. We don't have snow here. I really look forward to traveling and experiencing some snow. That's like one of the top things on my bucket list. So I do hope that I get the opportunity soon. So, but back to the seasons of life. Now we have the spring season, we have the summer season, we have the fall or the autumn, some will call it, and then we have the winter season. Now, when you hear this season, you're wondering like, oh, that's like the American thing, or that's like, we have this season, we have that season, but every human being goes through the seasons of life. Now, between ages 0, or should I just say 1, because zero also counts as part of the age, because you're 6 months, 1 month. So I'll say from ages 0 all the way to maybe somewhere around your 20s, your early 20s, around that time, that is your spring. The spring season of a person's life is when they are discovering who they are on the basest level. So you're finding out who you are, you're finding out how to drink water, how to brush your teeth, what to do, how to have conversations with people, what to say, who you are. You're getting to know who you are. You don't quite know yet, but you're getting familiar with the fact that this is the family I come from. This is the lineage that I come from. This is the generation I come from. This is how we do things here. This is our culture. This is what we wear. This is what we believe in. And the spring stage is a discovery stage, right? It's a basic foundational discovery stage. However, when you move from that season and you go into your summer season, that's between the ages of, say, about 22 all the way till about 40, thereabout. That is your summer. Your summer is where you are, you're going through life. Things are beginning to happen to you. You're trying things. This is where we call the trial season. Okay, this is the trial season. It's the season where you're trying everything, you're doing everything, you're working, you're going to the university or to college, you're getting education, you're getting your certifications done. It's basically a season where you're doing. It's a doing season. This is the most active part of your life. Now, when I say most active, what I mean is in the spring season, you are active, but you're active because there's a lot of they call it youthful exuberance or something, but I call it's a lot of new, fresh energy. It's fresh energy. You're getting to know stuff. You're getting to know people. So there's a lot of vigor. There's a lot of things you're doing. However, your summer season, there's intentionality in the energy that you're dispensing. There's intentionality. You're checking, what do I do here? What do I do there? How do I get it done? You're trying this and trying that. The summer season is your best season to try out anything you want to try. Why? Because the fall or the autumn is coming. Now, the autumn or the fall season is where you're between like 40 and 50 something or 60 something, just thereabout, right before 60, that's where you're between your 40 and then your 55, thereabout. That's your fall season. That's when every experience you've had between your spring and your summer, you're like, okay, it's time to focus. So you're no longer dispensing energy everywhere. You are now focusing that energy to say, this is what's going to work for me, This is what I want to solidify on. This is what I want to do. This is where I'm headed, which is where a lot of people their careers start to peak. This is where your if you're an entrepreneur or you're a business owner, at this point, somehow your eyes are single. Somehow you're focused because you're like, time is going. I'm no longer that teenager. I can't do try and error. This is not the time to do, let's try this if it works. Let's try this. This is, I need to make that money if you haven't made it. This is, I need to make that impact if I haven't made it. You are more focused in your autumn. However, in your winter is the time where you become more like a mentor and a guide, because this is where you're in your late 50s and your 60s and 70s and 80s. At this time, you're more settled. You have built something for yourself. So you're laid back. You're enjoying whatever you have sown or whatever you have planted in all the other 3 seasons. So whatever you've planted in your 3 seasons, you're going to reap that in your winter. That's when you're going to guide people, because now you're going back to stage 1 where you're acting like a baby. So you have more time, you have less energy, and then you're just winding down life and just taking it off and off. Now that we've gotten the 4 seasons out of our way, how does the 4 seasons come to play in our life as a person? Now, as a human being, there's a tendency to fit in. When you're born, there's a struggle and there's a race that you need to fit into. And that race is that your parents, maybe your parents are from a certain profession and they're saying things to you like, oh, I want you to become a doctor, or I want you to be a lawyer. I want you to be this person. I want you to be that person. There are a lot of things, everybody's saying things to you, things they want you to do, things they want you to do. And so you're wondering, is this what I should do? So it often, I don't know how it happens in other places, but here in West Africa, usually children will be influenced more by their parents. And so they will go read courses or study things that the family may have said is good for you. This will give you money. And so I'll give you my life example. So what I mentioned earlier that I love theater. And so while I was younger, at age 15, I got my very first job. And guess what it was? I was a gym instructor at age 15. I had joined a dance group. And in this dance group, I was doing so well. I love to dance, absolutely love to dance. One of those people that don't need to go learn how to dance and they just watch it and they get it. That's me. So I love to dance. And then I enrolled at a gym and they're like, oh, why don't you come and be an aerobics instructor? And from there, I became the dance instructor. And from there, another group I joined, they're like, oh, and I became the head of the dance. I became the dance instructor and the person leading the dance group at the end of the day. And so evenings, I would run out and go dancing. I'll go for events with my friends and all. I would come back sometimes and my dad would lock the door and he would say, you're not coming in. Like, where are you coming from? All of that. I understand that, when your parents come from a very humble background, in quotes, where they are, they had to struggle in their own lives to give you what you have. They don't want you just doing anything. They want to make sure that you toe the right path. And so often our parents guiding us, they do it from a place of love. They do it from a place of concern, but they do not do it right because they feel that they know because they are older. It doesn't always work like that. Okay. Yes, wisdom comes from our parents. Very true. But not everything in life comes from them, especially when it comes to discovering who you are and what you're meant to do. So I would go doing dancing and do all of these things. And when I come back, my dad wouldn't let me in and he'd be upset. Sometimes I would get flogged for it. Oh, yes, I would get flogged or get spanked for it. And it didn't stop me. And I said, you know what, I'm going to keep doing this thing. I'm going to keep doing this thing. So it was time to go to uni. So I had started working at age 15 and I was earning little money, just to keep body and soul together. I was really excited about it. And here I was thinking about my life. Oh, I'm going to be a professional dancer. I had role models. I wanted to be like Ciara. I don't know if you guys know Ciara. If you know Ciara, please put some love in the comment section. I love Ciara. I love Missy Elliott. These are people from 90s. So if you're a 90s baby or a late 80s baby, then you know who I'm talking about here. So I wanted to be all of these people. Why? Because they danced and they did well. I would score their videos and really do so much. And then, oh, awesome, Ryan, thank you. So, I would do all of these things. And one day my dad walks up to me and says, you're going to go to university. And I'm like, yay, awesome. Because at that time I was, how old? I think I was about Oh wow, this is flickering. I don't know why. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to figure out why my image is flickering. It's probably a
Your your
network problem.
your video is just fine. You can
Oh,
continue.
okay. Okay, awesome. So, I was excited about it. I was 18, and then he said, "Oh, fine, you're going to go to university." And I was like, "Yes, this is good." I get to study theater art. I was super excited. So I started getting all the information I needed, and then I got to a particular university, University of Ibadan, in Nigeria here, your state. So I did get that, and the next thing, I think like 2 weeks to when I was supposed to write the entrance exam, my dad comes and says, "Hey, I got your private school." Because here in Nigeria, one of the things that we menaces that we face is that the schools usually go on a lot of strikes. And so for longer periods, if you're supposed to spend 4 years in school, you end up spending more than that because the school could go on strike. And and that said, you can't do anything until the school is back in session. But for the private schools, school session will run normally no matter what's going on in the country. So he was like, "Hey, yeah, this is better for you." And then I'm like, "Okay, so what did you tell them I was going to study?" And he says law. And I'm like, "Law? Why do you think I should study law? I don't like to read as much. I don't." It was like, "Oh, you can talk. You're good at talking." I'm sure most of you listening to me now are like, "Oh, yeah, I like the way she talks." Like, this is what my dad's like. "Oh, no, you can do this. You can." And I'm like, "No, there's no way I'm studying law." But I insisted, and he insisted rather. And then I said, "Okay, no problem." So it was time for my entrance exam in the private university. And I asked them, "Do you have theater arts?" And they said, "No, we don't, but we have mass communication." I'm like, "Yes, sign me up. That's what I'm going to do." And I told my dad, and he was so sad. He felt like I was too intelligent to read mass communication. Why? He thought that mass communication was for lazy people or people who didn't know much. It was like what they just dash you. Because at the time, lawyers, doctors, all of those people were important. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. I hope I'm not boring you with my stories. So at this point, I knew that this was what I was going to do. And I left school. I was one of, the best in my class. We had a lot of practicals and I aced my practicals so much. I did my IT and afterwards I got employed by the same broadcasting television station. And it was really good for me. Things were looking fine. The moment I got on TV, my dad was the proudest person ever. "Thank you, Fatima." My dad was so proud. He was like, "Yes, she's my daughter." Now, remember, he didn't want me to study mass communication. He was like, he was sure, he would call people and say, "Yes, turn your TV to, you can, yes, that's my daughter." And, that's, "Oh, wow, mine, really? Awesome. Wow. And look at what you're doing now. Isn't this just amazing? I can't wait to hear the full story one of these days." You know, so I just thought to myself, you know what, maybe this is, what this is. Oh, thank you, Jawad. Thank you. And also, this is the life that maybe I should do. I know how to talk. I talk very well. Although I had a lisp, it's still there, but it's not as much because I've gotten some training and worked on myself over time. So I talk a lot with my tongue. So you hear a lot of sounds when I speak, but it's a little better now. So as I got that and I became a TV presenter, I started feeling fulfilled in some way. However, I wasn't exactly fulfilled because I'm an art person. I'm a creative person. I love to cook, and I'm like, okay, I love to cook. What do I do with that? I love to talk. I love the camera. You see this thing I'm doing right now? My God, I do love the camera. Yes, I can see that. I love the camera. I can stand here and just do everything in front of the camera. I'll just be so happy with myself, really. So I just thought this was it for me. And then as I grew older, and then I eventually got married. And, I was my husband, and then we're talking about things to do. And he is a strong believer in me. And guess what? He's also in the media field. So he's like a producer and a director. He's a creative person as well. So we're like, okay, this media thing, I'm so glad I married someone like me so we can run it together. As we went on, I realized, which I always had a dream, that I was going to own a show just like what's the name of the show now? I'm trying to remember. What's it now? What's it? I'm trying to remember that particular. Yes, Ellen DeGeneres. Right. So I wanted to opera. Yes, not opera. Yes, I know opera, but it wasn't opera. I wanted to own a show like Ellen DeGeneres. I loved her show. Oh my God. Sitting down and just watching it. I was like, this is the woman I want to be. I want to remember. I always wanted to be Sierra. Do you remember? Don't forget the story. And then I moved on to wanting to be who now? To be Ellen DeGeneres. I wanted to own a show like her. I wanted to talk to people. I want people to come in and have a life transforming. But I'm like, I'm just a TV presenter. What am I going to talk about that will transform the lives of people? So I didn't know there was something deeper. So fast forward, I was in the media space. In 2016, I had my first child. I got married in 2015, and when I had my first child, I decided to quit. Not quit per se, but I tried to take a break from the media space because for me, family is important. One of my core values has family on the top. And then the next is integrity. Okay. So family came first for me. And I wanted my children to grow up with me being available, with their dad being available. I didn't want to be an absent mom because being in the media space, trust me, you will go missing for days and months. You will travel. Especially if you're good at what you do, you're going to be everywhere except your home. And I didn't want to take the burden of allowing my kids grow up with somebody else when I had so much to give them. So I decided to be a mom and stay home and, find a lot of other things to do. And then I started the food thing. Long story short, because my story is very interesting. So if we keep going, we won't learn anything today, but I'm sure you're learning something. So eventually, many years after I stopped working in the media space. I was running my own media thing with my husband privately. We would do our own personal stuff, private stuff and all. I just realized that, I love to talk to people. People come to me all the time, especially for relationship issues. People talk to me when they are going through things and somehow they find comfort when they are done talking. Somehow they always say, like, Tessy knows what to say. When you're going through a hard time, everybody just say, don't worry, don't talk to Tessy. It doesn't matter what it is. When you talk to Tessy, you get direction. You know what to do. I didn't know this was a thing. And so I was sitting at home sometime a few years ago and I was like, what do I do? Yes, life has just started. What do I do? And then I saw this opportunity. I was about to start my restaurant and then I saw this opportunity that said I could learn counseling. And it was going to be on a scholarship and stuff like that. I jumped. And my husband was like, go for it. I'm like, but we need money to start up the restaurant. Like, finally, my dream restaurant is about to start. And I was like, no, just go, 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 go. And I went and studied it. And today I'm a mental health counselor. And I am telling you, I am so fulfilled. Now, let me draw the story back to what we're sharing today. If you're the right fit, I am currently the right fit for my field. I am in my zone. Are you in your zone? How do you find out if you're in your zone? Do you feel fulfilled whenever you're doing what you're doing? In the job that you're doing, do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel happy? Is there satisfaction? There's happiness and there's joy. They're two different things. There are things that make a business doctor. There are things that make you feel happy. However, happiness is short-lived. Happiness is not long. Joy is long because it doesn't come from an external factor. So often happiness is an external factor. Oh, when I do this and I get praised for it, I feel good. When I'm appraised for what I'm doing, I feel good. When different people tell me, you're good at this thing, I feel good because I'm doing something and people are recognizing it. But do I feel fulfilled? If I were to die today, if I were to go today, will I be happy that I lived a full life? So I wanted you to just take a few seconds and ask yourself that question. Just introspect for a few seconds. I'm happy since I quit. Oh, wow. I can't wait to go back to the comment session, but in a few seconds, I want you to just think about it. Are you fulfilled where you are right now? Yes, mine said, I'm so content. Awesome. Are you fulfilled? Are you satisfied where you are? If your life were to end today, because that's the most thing that anybody would think about. If everything was to just, what is that one thing that you can say, I'm so glad I did this one thing. And that's a lot of questions I ask my clients when we're having sessions on self-discovery and all, which I'm going to talk about soon, and that question is, I'm in the process, awesome, So what is that thing that if you were to do, if money was not the problem? So I think this is one question that I want everyone to, just when we open up the line for questions to come in, I would want you to answer that. If money was not a problem, if you didn't have to work because you needed to pay bills or you needed to sort out things or pay for your education or your housing or all the many bills that life comes with, yeah, you didn't have to take care of your parents or anything. If money was not the problem, meaning everything money could sort it, you had it. What is that one thing you will spend the rest of your life doing? Don't answer in a hurry. As we talk, you'll discover that. But just keep that question at the back of your mind, okay? What is that one thing that if you did right now, you'll be so fulfilled, whether it was paying you or not? Why? Remember, money was not a concern. If you just did that one thing, you will feel like a fulfilled person. So that's the question I want you to keep at the back of your mind. Now, how do you know if you're the right fit for that career? Because the question we're asking today is self-discovery versus career path. What is the difference? How does self-discovery concern career path? What is there a difference? Are they clashing? And I'm going to break that down for you. A career path is basically, okay, let me just read a little bit of what I see here so that I can go on. Seeing people around me leading towards quality of life by choosing their true purpose. Awesome. That's why you feel content, because this is you. You're living your dream. And Lucas says, I'm not content, but I'm very much fresh out of the university. Okay, 1 month. So there's definitely, still time, being awesome, good. So that's what we're talking about. So Lucas, if I'm right, you're in your summer season, if I'm right. But also there are people in their autumn who still go back to school. So don't get me wrong about that. Okay. Don't get me wrong at all. So what I'm trying to say here now is self-discovery and career path. Career path is that path that you choose and say, this is a career. I struggled with the word career while I was, growing to this point, because I always felt like I was not a career person. Because whenever you say career path, we're talking professionals in the workspace where they are, we'll call them maybe white collar professionals or blue collar professionals, whatever you want to call them. They are, in the office, they, put on some nice clothes, suits, they're official, they do administrative work, they use your system, so that was career for me. And I knew somewhere at the back of my mind that was not me. I didn't even know I wanted to do business. I didn't even know I had the ability to do business, but I knew that I didn't want to sit in the office and wear suit and shirts and look all corporate. I knew I didn't want to do that. However, I didn't know how to go about it. So as I went on, I just kept struggling. When people say you're a career woman, I'm like, I'm not a career woman. I always jump back at it like, I'm not a career woman. However, career is any chosen field that you have decided that you want to work in that gives you fulfillment. So your career path should not be different from what you love. Your career path should not be a different ball game entirely from what you love doing. And that sounds crazy, like, I love watching movies. How am I supposed to build a career out of watching movies? We'll get there. So your career path is the path you take in fulfilling purpose. Every one of us is born with purpose. Nobody living on the face of the earth. It doesn't matter if your parents told you were useless, if your parents told you meant nothing, if you were not valued, it doesn't matter. Everybody on the face of the earth has a purpose. Finding that purpose should be your very first assignment before you even choose to do anything else. Before you start working for money, that's what you do with your spring season, remember? That's what you do with your spring season, discovering who you are. Finding out what is that purpose? What is that thing that God made me for? What is that thing I was created for? What is that thing I was alive for? Why am I alive? Some of us have stories of things like, oh, I almost died, but miraculously I survived. Some of us have stories like, oh, I died and a few hours later I was resuscitated. Some of us say things like, oh, I almost had an accident. Everybody died. I didn't stay. Do you think it was a mistake that you are still alive? It's not a mistake. Every one of us has a purpose. Mine is fulfilling her purpose by creating this platform. So eventually, you must find that one thing that makes you you. Who is Lucas? Who is Mahin? Who are you? That's the question you want to ask yourself before you start saying, oh, I want to be a doctor just because you like the doctors, you like the scrubs they wear, and you like their Crocs, or you like the fact that, you watch TLC and you see how the doctors do the pimple popping or the surgeries. It's fascinating. I do love them, but I never want to be a doctor. Trust me, I don't want to be in that space. Blood and eye do not go in the same way. So I know that I enjoy watching it, but I don't want to be that. Do I like pilots? Oh, awesome. The fact that somebody can fly a big metal bird in the air is fascinating. But nope, I'll pass. Do I want to learn how to fly a helicopter? Absolutely. I'd love to. I'm adventurous. So trust me, there are a number of things I want to try in this life. And if you hear them, you'll probably pass out just by hearing the suggestions alone. Okay. So there are numerous things we all like and we want to be. And we feel like that's the thing. Because when we hear the salaries, when we hear how much they are being paid, you're like, hey, I must earn this thing. I must make this money. This is where the money is. And so you do everything to enter into a place that you are not the right fit. It's like putting a square box in a circle. Will it fit in? Oh, yes, it will. It will fit in. You see that square, that rectangular thing? It will fit into the circle. It will fit in. But guess what? It will not fill in. It will not make sense. If a water were to pour through things, it will pass through it. If there were things that needed to stay in, it will not stay in. Why? Because although it fits in, it is not the right fit. However, if you were to put a spherical or a round box into that circle, it will fit in. You know why? Because it is the right fit. There's been a good fit and there's been a right fit, and we're going to get there. So your career path should be determined from your purpose. Mine is fulfilling her purpose. This is her career path. It doesn't mean that one thing you must do. It doesn't mean you can't do other things. So for example, how am I fulfilling purpose? I'm a mental health counselor. And I'm working towards becoming a certified coach as well to help people deal. Why am I doing what I'm doing? I love to see people live their best life. Oh, it gives me so much joy. I am excited when people are themselves. Like, I love helping people. See this thing I'm doing for you? I am loving it. Like, even if it were to be one person who was here listening to me, I would be amazed. Like, I would be ecstatic. Why? I enjoy it. It is at the core of my very existence to help people find their feet. It is at the core of my I love to help people find their feet. I love to help people become who God has made them to be, who they are, who they were meant to be. I love to guide people. When you're going, this is me, and I'm fantastic at it because I am the right fit for where I am. This is not a passing job for me. But does that mean I can't do anything else? No, I own a restaurant, for example. I cook right now at the restaurant. I'm the chief of operations. But over time, I'm going to get somebody who's going to do that. I'm just going to supervise, to give directions. I have the vision for where I'm going to. I want to be like one of the McDonald's of the world. Yes. I want to have my store or my takeout store in every city, in every country, in every continent. That's where I'm headed. Does that mean that's my purpose? Oh, no, that's not my purpose. That's not the career path I'm going through. I'm not an executive chef. I am not but I'm a restaurateur. I'm a restaurateur. I own restaurants. I own chains of restaurants. I even want it to become a franchise someday. And people will just come and buy and say, oh, Flex Chow. Oh, I want to buy a franchise on Flex Chow and then just own it. That's part of what I do. Do I still want to dance? Yes, for fun though, not for anything else. Am I still a TV presenter? Yes, I'm going to own a show like Ellen DeGeneres, and I'm going to bring people and talk with them, people who have had transformations in their lives, and it's going to bless other people. So I'm going to do numerous other things. However, what determines if I'm in the center of my core or if I'm in my core is who I am. Do you know who you are? You can't follow a career path just because everybody's going down that lane. And I know I can hear someone asking, I just feel like someone's asking, so I'm already here. I've done 10 years of my life in this career. I'm not feeling fulfilled. What do I do? We'll get there. Please just make sure you drop your questions. If you're watching us on YouTube, please drop your questions. If you're here on Zoom as well, please drop your questions. Whatever platform you're watching for, mine will definitely get the questions when it's time. And I'll be rounding up soon so we can ask a lot of questions. Okay, so who am I? Who are you? Who are you? At the very core, who are you? Self-discovery is such an important part of your life. You cannot choose a career. You should not choose a career without knowing who you are, first of all. Who you are is not the color of your skin. Who you are is not the color of your eyes. Who you are is not your genes. Who you are is not the country you come from or the continent you're from. Who you are is not the job you do. You can do a job, but that's not who you are. Who you are is that person that is fit for the position that they are in. Now, you may not be, what's the word? You may not have gotten there. It's been a process getting to where I am now. But I believe that if I had this kind of conversation earlier on in life, in my springtime, it would have helped me stay on the right path, which is what you're getting for those of you still in your spring and those of you in your summer as well. I'm still in my summer as well. So don't think I'm like 50 or something. Nah, I'm not anywhere close to that. Okay. So who are you? Self-discovery has been so undermined that people just go around, doing things. Yes, situations make you, mold yourself into stuff. You don't have to align. You don't need to align to what's happening with you on the outside. Don't align. It's okay to stand out. It's okay to be different as long as you're making impact. Finding who you are is at the very core of your career path. Because to have a fulfilling career and scale up so fast, you must know who you are. Because when the storms come, because they will come. Oh, you think they won't come? You see all those things you face at work where someone is, you have colleagues who are trying to put you down, or you have tasks that you can't seem to complete, or there's like a downsizing going on, or there's like, challenges, or the company is growing. And so they are doing a lot of changes, culture shock, a lot of other things are happening to you. You're being transferred to a place you're not sure. Everything happens in the workplace. But you see the people that survive. I'm not saying people that are still there. The people who survive and excel, even in the storm, are the people who know who they are. If you know who you are, you will find the right path for you. You will find the right career path. You will know what you should do with your life. And once you're on that place, you may not have gotten to the end. You may not have gotten to the point where you are all of that, but you are at peace. Peace is one of the determinants of fulfillment. Do you feel peace in that thing you're doing? Are you peaceful? Is there a calm when you think about what you're doing and where you are? Or are you like, if they just remove me from this job like this, my life is over? Are you at that point where you're constantly trying to keep up with the world? You're trying to do one certification after another certification just because you don't want to be let off, just because you don't feel like you're good enough, just because you feel like anything I am right now is not what the world needs. The new craze of the world is that technology is taking over. So if you don't know how to do one or two things in tech, then you are a dullard. That's not true. Somebody needs to build that tech. Somebody needs to make sure the tech is working well. Somebody needs to organize everybody building the tech. You don't have to be a tech person. However, you should have basic knowledge on how to use technology because the world is evolving. But you must not be a tech person. You must not be a virtual assistant. You don't have to be all of these things. However, learn it. I'll paint you a picture. You are the fulfillment, your fulfillment of purpose, right? And you're wearing a strap jacket on and you're in the sea. Let's say you're wearing a life jacket on, right? Oh no, let's use a strap jacket instead of a life jacket. And you're walking, you're getting somewhere. You have a journey that you're taking, and that journey is going to take you far. So let's say your journey is to climb. Maybe you're going rock climbing, or you're going somewhere. You want to climb up a particular mountain. You want to. I'm trying to find I think it's rope climbing they call it. Where you just it's not hiking. You throw a sickle or something like that on the rock, and then you just climb and you're going to the top of the hill or the top of the mountain, whichever one it is, or the top of the rock. Now you're going to spend an awfully long time being there because you're going towards somewhere. However, you will get there in good time and successfully if you have the tools that will help you. Imagine going rock climbing and you only have a rope. Please, how are you going to climb? I know there are people who do extreme sports and they use just their hands. Good luck to them. I'm not that adventurous. I would love to try it, but nah. Right. But you want to successfully get at the top of the rock without dying or, without breaking a few bones here and there. You want to have the right tools with you. So on that strap jacket, you have what? Maybe an extra rope somewhere. On the side, you have, a small bottle of water that you take a sip from. On that same part, you have like a small crackers, that you can just munch on so that you stay hydrated and you're hungry, you can eat and feel fulfilled. So you have a bits of things in there. However, where's the goal? The top of the rock. Okay. So you can fulfill your career, you can get to the, career path, but learn other things, accumulate other skills. That's what makes you good at what you do. So going back to that question where I said, are you fulfilled where you are? Do you know who you are? Who are you? If I were to ask you, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you is not your name and your surname and how many children you have. It's not. Who you are is that thing that gives you fulfillment. When you think about it and how you know you have found who you are, aside from the fact that you feel peace, aside from the fact that you feel joy about it, or you feel satisfied about it, another determinant to know if you have found your purpose and the right place to go to is that you are making impacts on people and it's obvious. That's what I can tell that Mahin is actually doing a lot. She's in her space. She's impacting people. She's impacting people and you can tell. That's why you're all here. That's why all of you are watching right now. That's why you agreed to come on this line. You had other things to do, but you're here. For me, here in West Africa at this time, this particular time in Nigeria, it's actually afternoon. I'm supposed to be at the restaurant running stuff, just checking on things. I'm supposed to have another session, I think in like an hour or something. I chose to be here because this aligns with my career path, if you call it that, or it aligns with my purpose. So self-discovery is an important part. So if you have not done self-discovery before, self-discovery is not a sit in a room, be quiet, put your hand in a, yoga pose or something and try to meditate. That's not self-discovery. Self-discovery is going to a mental health counselor or a professional, someone who knows this stuff, and going through a process of self-discovery where you discover yourself afresh. A lot of who we are is not who we are. And I'm trying to make an example. I'm going to show you something just quickly. I know that we're watching. So this is a piece of paper that I have with me. Right. Now, this piece of paper is, it's a square. Yeah. And it's for writing. It's for writing. It's a stick note. It's a sticky note, actually. I just took a piece out of it. It's a sticky note. What is a sticky note for? Is it for rubbing on your hair? No. Is it for blowing your nose? No. Is it for eating? No. It's for what? For writing. For making notes. Right. However, if I did this to the sticky note, can it fulfill its purpose? Obviously not. Can it be used for what it's meant to be used for? No. It's just passing space, looks cute because it has a nice color. And after a while, if I see it hanging around too much, I'll trash it. I'll just throw it in trash. There'll be no need for it. Right. This is how a lot of us have done. This is what life has done to us. This is what our parenting, depends on the kind of parents we had, probably must have done to us. They have formed us into something that we are exactly not. And so we're making decisions from this place. This is you making a decision from a scrambled place, but you are not this. Any decision you make from here, any career path you choose from this state, this conditioned state, is not going to work. You're not going to feel fulfilled. You may get the money, you may do well, but at some point in your life, in your fall season of your life, you will regret it and you will start wishing you had done more. However, so what should we do to this? This is an example of you, or some of you. who haven't found that career path, right place. What do we do to this? The best thing we can do to this is to what? Begin to unfold. See? We begin to unfold, to discover, oh, what is this thing? Where are we going? Oh my God, this is us. And then we smoothen it out. And we are back to how we are meant to be. Now we can fulfill purpose. Now we can do what it is that we are meant to do. Self-discovery is such an important thing. This is what you do when you do self-discovery. So I want to urge you guys, when thinking about a career path, the first thing you should think about in any decision you want to make in life, who to marry, the kind of places you want to live in, the decisions you're making about travels or work, all you need to do is, first of all, discover yourself so that you're not struggling with other people. That fight and that struggle you're having with your colleague at work is not necessary. You don't need to feel like your colleague is. See, if you know where you're going, it's like someone driving and you put on your GPS. You know this is where you're headed. But on the road to that place, you're going to meet traffic jam. On the road to that place, right, if you're in Africa, I don't know how it is in other parts of the world, but I know some places do get very long traffic jams, yeah? So you're going to meet traffic jam. You're going to meet someone who is going to bump into your car and you'll have to talk to the person to pay for the insurance and all of that. You're going to drop by a coffee shop. You're going to stop by a diner. You're going to do a lot of things. Yeah, you're going to do a lot of things. However, it doesn't stop you from where your GPS, the location on your GPS is. All of these things are experiences that take you there. As long as you don't divert, as long as when you get to the diner, you don't just say, you know what, I'm done. You know what, let me just go back home. No. Or you don't look at, you see the coffee shop and you're like, oh my God, the coffee shop is fantastic. You know what, I think I want to own a coffee shop. And you forget the location you put on your GPS. So, but when you know yourself and you know where you're going to, you know, if I pass by that cake shop, if you're like me, I love cakes. If I pass by that cake shop, I will not get to this place on time. So you know what, I'll take another route. You know your weaknesses. These are the things that self-discovery does for you. It opens you up to your weaknesses. You go through, there are 3 stages in self-discovery, but there are sub-stages. I can't tell you a lot of that now because it would take our whole day. So, but there'll be sessions. I mean, talk to Mayan. I take personal sessions. I take individual sessions. So if you want to have a session with me personally, of course, she would share all my details. Mayan has all my details. So she can share in my email, everything, so you can get across to me and we can have a one-on-one session if you want that. But self-discovery is so important. It tells you who you are. It opens you up to those little things. What are those little things about you? So if I ask you something as silly as, do you know how your thumb feels? Do you know how your toes feel when you wiggle them? Do you know the sensation they give you? You're like, wiggle my toes. I've never done that. I can imagine most of you trying to wiggle your toes right now. And it's okay to do that because that's the idea. So do you know how air feels when it passes around you? Do you know how your breathing feels? Have you ever stopped to understand the breath? All of these things look like they are not important, but it is a part of self-discovery that is called being aware of the little things. It's called self-awareness, or some people will call it mindfulness. These are part of the things that you find when you find yourself. You're like, this is who I am. Tessy is not just a mental health counselor. Tessy is a guide for women and men who want to find their feet in life, who want to know who they are, women and men who want to become something, who want to live a great life, whether it's family, with children, whatever you are and wherever you are. Tessy is that person that can help you get that done, because I am not just passionate about it. It is me. It is my very existence. And I'm a happy go girl. Okay, so I'll round up with this particular statement. And this says, I want to read it out. You can be a good fit, but not the right fit. I think I mentioned that. Now, finding you is equals to finding purpose. Finding purpose is equals to finding the right career path. When you find your right career path, it is equals to becoming the best in the field when you apply discipline. Applying discipline, that's a different ballgame entirely, but you got to start from step one, okay? You can't just jump, okay? You have to start from step one. Now, the other part, and which is the last thing I'm going to say, and then I'll round up, is in the world in 2018, one of the things that were discovered is that there were in 2018 now, this is 2018, there were 2,604 billionaires in the world, and 55.8% of them were self-made. That's what they said. Now, in October 2023, 85% of billionaires are first-generation billionaires, meaning 85% of people who are billionaires today are first generation. Like they are billionaires by themselves. They weren't made. They don't have any backing of any sort. I choose to believe that's what it means. But 50% was from inheritance. So there are people who are billionaires today and who are doing well at their field and all, who came from a home of wealth. So foundations have been laid for them, before they got here. And 85% of people are people who are just, doing this by themselves. But I understand that a good person lays up wealth for generations and generations afterwards. If you want to be that person who will lay up wealth for generations after you, so your children and your children's children, you must discover purpose. You must find out who you are, so that as you follow the path where you are building a transgenerational wealth. You're building generational wealth for your family. And so when they come into it, they can find themselves, because truly, the reason we struggle in our career path, or we try to be at the very top and the best, is because we're trying to make ends meet. We're trying to live a good life. We're trying to travel to the countries we want to travel to. We're basically just looking for the basic necessities of life, to enjoy life, and then the luxury will come afterwards. But I want to tell you today, if you want to excel in any chosen career that you're in, go and discover yourself. That will be the greatest gift you will give to yourself. And guess what? Self-discovery doesn't end. However, foundational self-discovery sessions is important, because as you grow, you discover more things. But if the foundation is not right, the building can collapse. But if you have that first self-discovery sessions you have with your counselor or a therapist or a coach who can guide you, what it does for you is that anything that you build on top of that foundation will last, because the foundation is strong. So you need that first foundation. But as you go, as you discover things, you get to know a lot more. And this is where I will round up. Thank you for listening. I am available for your questions now. Let me just go through the comment section and see what's going on. So Mayan, I'm done.
It was so good, Tessie. That was so good, and you took me like a couple of times to the age where I was truly struggling, and I feel like if some situations in my life didn't happen, I haven't seen the tough side of this life. I weren't able to find my true purpose, and that's really true, Cassie. That your dreams, your purpose, and the way you want to survive the world that you are in line with. That's all our different journey. But the thing is, where I feel, Tessie, the most difficulty is people are not willing to understand how to calm down in this chaotic, you know, system. They really don't know how to inline exactly, not looking at anybody else. We really get influenced by every second person, and I'm very sad about that. They should judge themselves, who they were yesterday and now how they're doing right. This is something which everybody is missing. And sometimes when I get carried away with something, I remind myself, do not do that. um, your journey is different, their journey is different. So I think we all have to understand this thing, that when you choose something for yourself, your journey is different, your growth is different, and you have to put in effort. If you don't put in effort, nobody else is going to do that for you. And the challenges that you face at your home or outside, to be in line with your dreams, that means you need to fight it, so that you can pave way for other people who are fighting the war like you do at home. So you don't have to run away from the problem. You don't have to be the ostrich. You have to be a perfect human to face it, and with with diplomacy, with reasoning, you can not just enlighten your life, but other people's who will be looking at you in future. You will be helping so many people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, if we don't have any comments or questions other than in
Hello,
the
hello,
chat
hello, hello,
box.
Tessy.
Hi, Chisomo. Oh, I can't hear him. He's the nicest person. Chisomo, thank you for joining in.
Yeah,
Please, over to you.
yeah. Thank you very much, Tessy, for the session. I really love and enjoyed the session. Yeah, and also I'm free already. Okay, so I just want to comment some few things about my life. So right now I'm at the stage whereby I'm in the process of self-discovery. Like okay, so like I've graduated like 2 years ago. I think in 2020. So after graduation, so for me, instead of like starting to seek for a job, I ended up opening up my own private secondary school. So there, I'm a teacher and also I'm like a managing director. So yeah, I just want to conquer that. Yeah, so I really enjoyed the session and I really like it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Isomo. Thank you. That's beautiful. It's good to be in that, you know, it's good to be in that space. Honestly, getting to know yourself is one of the most important things. And just starting gives you like, a head start. So it's good you're there. Just open up your heart and be receptive. Don't be just like Mahin was just sharing that there are a lot of things that you need to do in that process. It's not an easy thing, but there are a lot of things that will happen to you. Some things, when we say self-discovery, people think it's just going to go smooth. It won't go smooth. There will be times that it will be so hard. There will be tough decisions. You will meet people, you have experiences that
I think you are jamming. I can't hear you, Tessy.
Let's give her 2 minutes. I think she has dropped. I was going through comments of Temasan, so I was going through comments of, I'm not good with names, Huria and Hamasa, very, very well written conversation because at this age, everybody is discovering the path for themselves. So, meanwhile, we may have a conversation around that. Let's wait for Miss Tessie to join us. Dr. Agnes, would you like to add something? And Dr. Mariam?
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Dr. Agnes.
Hello.
I am so elated with the presentation. It was really fantastic, straight to the point. It touched me in a particular way, and it has made me to rethink actually whether if what I want to do is really my fulfilling my purpose. So I really want to thank you, Dr. Mahin, for this opportunity which you are giving us to learn on a daily basis. And I want to thank Tessy for the way she took to present it. It was very okay. And I just want to say that since you've said that there will be a follow-up session, we would just like to have that follow-up session so that By that time, we should have already really known what our purposes are, so that we are able to take it from there, and we are able to know how we'll impact the world in our own small corners, and we'll be able to gain that satisfaction which we equally need. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Agnes, for your kind feedback and your comments. Dr. Mariam, if you're with us, you can go second.
Hello, everyone. Hope all is well.
Thank you, Mariam.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the nice session and information. It was very useful. Actually, I was also wanted to be in another field, but lately I choose economics. First, from the childhood, I wished to be an engineer. Then I changed, after the master's, I changed my mind to be economist. So this was very useful information and session delivered by Ms. Tessy. Thank you so much for the useful information and tips you given to us. It was very helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. You're welcome. Sorry, I jumped out for a bit. You're welcome, Miriam. Yeah, my device just misbehaved a bit, but I'm back now.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, Mayin, do I have any questions? Did I miss any questions while I was away?
I know we were having a conversation in which everybody was giving their feedback, their experience as well. So I also want to invite Miss Sally and Miss Precious to share their experiences, because they are the ones who are not only working with us but leading their community as well. So their insights are very valuable.
Okay.
If Miss Sally and Miss Precious, if you guys can have conversation, please do. And I really want Miss Leah as well to continue with this conversation.
Mayin, while we
Precious.
are
Hi, Precious.
why? Okay, someone is up. Okay.
Hi, Precious. Can you hear us?
Mayin, someone's asking a question in the comment section.
Yes, please.
Gazal is asking a question, so I don't know. I think you should take a look at it.
Please do. The question is, if somebody is younger in family and parents wanted them to study certain subject, however, after little convincing to parents and share personal choices, parents were forced to study, how that little one applies certain tips to that parent to agree with it. Okay, for choosing their professional subjects as okay. So Ms. Tessie, the culture hierarchy, African and Asian countries are so alike, so alike. So I think you can give her very nice input in this. Like if she want to choose certain subjects, how she can convince her parents.
Okay. So I would say that this is a tricky one, but I'll just share my insights and have you decide which one works for you. So first of all, you mentioned that she's young and she's in a family, right? So if she's young and she's in a family, there's a likelihood that parents are a guide. Parents are like a guide for children to, fulfill their life and everything. Obviously, the parents want her to study something because they feel that this is the way that she should go. Again, she's in her spring season, I believe. Being in her spring season gives her the opportunity to try different things. So if two things, first thing, if she can't convince her parents that she wants to study what she wants to study because they don't believe that that's what she should study, I think that she should not try to get into an argument or fight over it. I think that she should try to have a conversation with the parents to say, hey, okay, this is why do you want me to study this? And when she realizes that they are not yielding to her studying what she wants because they feel she's not in the right frame of mind to have that, she's not the one going to pay for the education. If she's not paying for the education, everything is going to be sorted out for her. I feel like she should go ahead and give it a try. That's what I think. I feel she should go ahead and give it a try, and then see how it works. And I mean, if it's not something she likes to do after she's done, she's in her spring season, she can always try and do something else that she wants. After all, she's done that. Her parents have seen that, okay, this is not working for her as we thought. They are most likely going to let her go with what she wants. Doesn't mean that while she's in uni or in college or whatever it is, she can't do what she loves on the side. She can't take some small courses online if she can't afford to, send herself to proper school yet. However, that's one option. Second option is she's in her spring season. So there's a possibility that she's not even sure what she wants to study. She may think that this is where she's headed, but if she has not gone through a full self-discovery session or therapy sessions or all, she may not really know where she's headed. And this is why it's called the spring season. There's room for trial and errors, and then you go. This is the point where she can try. So I think it's a go for me. She can either decide to go with her parents since she's not paying for anything, or she can just, let's give this a try and see if that works. I don't know if this helps in any way because, parents are parents. You can't fight your parents just because you're trying to get away. You may be wrong and they may be right. The only way to find out is to go for these sessions and eventually also let them see that this is where you're headed and not where they want you to go. Aha, exactly, Gazelle. She said, my sister's saying she will engage in related programs while respecting parents. Awesome, that's it. That's exactly what she should do, yeah. I hope I answered your question.
All right, can we go with Miss Sally? Miss Sally?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sally Alfeo from Zambia, Lusaka. Though I joined a bit late in the meeting, I would just like to add something like getting a bit of what has been discussed. Like myself, I'll talk about myself. I've always wanted to be a lawyer since I was a child. I've always been telling my friend, I would always tell my friend, I want to be a lawyer. I want to speak for people. I want to do justice to everyone and all that and the like. But with the turn of events and with circumstances going on, I ended up pursuing something else, which is related to culinary. But now that I'm working with WomenAscension, I'm just seeing that I'm getting back to what I've always wanted to be. Then working with WomenAscension has been pointing me and bringing me back to the same things that I've always dreamed of when I was a kid. And then I've realized that my passion hasn't been the culinary that I've been pursuing all along, but it's been in line with justice and speaking out for people, and which brings me back to law. And I think that's what I really wanted to add on. Pursuing something, it's something that comes in naturally. Somebody doesn't have to push you into doing it, or circumstances doesn't have to push you into doing it, but it has to come from within, from inside, from what you enjoy doing. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to add. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally, for your input. Ms. Masuma?
Yes, thank you, everybody. It was a really great session. I learned many things. Thank you, Tessy. It was very nice. I have a question regarding choosing our future fields or our future or dream job. Actually, my favorite field is programming. I really want to be a programmer in the future, but due to some political issues or some problems that I have in my country, the universities are closed for girls, so I cannot attend in a university to continue my major. but it's somehow hard for me to study online programming because it's needed to be in the class and participate in class to learn programming. And besides this, I think if I study online, if I continue my higher education online, I have to study another major like leadership or other things. And just I think I will lose my future job or my dream job, which is programming. Can you give me some suggestions? I hope you understood what I said. Do you need any more information?
Okay. I heard what you said. I thought mine was going to come in. That's why I didn't. So you're saying that you can't study what you want to do in a physical school because your country is having some issues now, and then you're unable to do that. But if you're going to study online, you need to
Yeah.
study another course, right? While you're studying the online programming. Is that what you said?
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay, so where do you want me to come in? How would you like me to help in terms of that? Are
Uh,
you asking if it's okay to do that, or what's the question?
And the question is that in your idea, if we change our major that we are not somehow interested in, and we cannot continue our favorite major or our favorite field, does it have any impact on our future career, on our interest, or no? Just we have to adapt ourselves to the circumstances or the challenges that we have.
Of course, while you're going through a challenge like this, it is something beyond your control. It is not something that you can control. It's not something that you have power over. So you can't put yourself in harm's way while you are trying to, follow the thing that you want. If you love programming, it's always been there. Just like I can't remember her name. She just shared and she said that she did culinary, but she's always wanted to be in the space, in the justice space, and to fight for people and all. And she's getting the opportunity now to do it. So if you get the opportunity to study online and do some other major, it's okay for you to do that because that's what's available. However, when you get another opportunity to now really study something else that you wanted, it's an added advantage. Remember the example I gave about climbing the rock, how you have a goal, but then you have to go with some things so that you can survive and get there. This is you just adapting for now. You still have your goal in mind. You know where you're headed. So once you adapt and you're able to be in a space that allows you express yourself, then you can go back to what you love. It's never too late. Whether you're in your summer or in your fall or even in your winter, you can still give it a go. It's never late. It's never late. I don't know if I answered that.
Yes, thank you. It was very useful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Falcon?
Hello, Ms. Tessy. It was definitely a wonderful session, and I could relate to many parts of it, especially the story that you told and how you took us through each and every level of it. It was definitely quite inspiring. My question from you is, what if the profession we want to opt is quite defamed? For example, if we want to go for politics or if we want to go for law, but the rumors are, or we just hear it quite often that the system is quite corrupt and you cannot survive there longer, like that. So what would be your advice on that?
There is nothing you cannot do. There's absolutely nothing you can't do. If that's where your heart is, if that's where you will find fulfillment, if that's where you want to make impact, you can make it work. It doesn't matter what anybody else is saying on the outside. It doesn't matter what's happening. Even if they say, oh, it's dangerous, oh, this, you won't survive there, you won't survive there. No, you will now make up your mind and say, you know what? If this is what's going on, the corruption is a lot, it's not working well, I will now go and find out what do I need to do to make myself fit for that space. How do I make myself? Because remember, if this is your satisfaction spot, if this is your purpose, if this is something that you know you really want to do, right? and you are there, it will not, the only challenge you should tell yourself is, what's next? What do I need to do next? So when you find a space that you want to be, but somehow it's chaotic and you're not sure if you want to be there, take a seat and sit down, analyze what's going on, and ask yourself, were you built for this? Start small, start little, learn what you need to learn, get the education you need to get in that aspect. Start talking to people. LinkedIn is a fantastic place. Start connecting with people in the same space. But most importantly, in this kind of field, what is very important and will stand you out is your character as a person. What is your character? Are you having the same mindset that the people in there are having? Are you also going to go there and be a part of the corruption, or are you going to stand your ground? I know it's not very easy. It sounds very sweet as I'm saying it, but it starts with taking the first step. And remember, you are not alone. There are people who are like you, who want to stand for the truth and who want to make impact. All you need to do is find them. And I'm sure in this Women Ascension space, there are women like that who want to go in that same space, and they can give you 1 or 2 tips. And you can, there's something about being in a bond where you're all holding each other. A bond is not easily broken. They say that the threefold cord is not easily broken. When you are with people, you are strong. So don't give up just because it's chaotic. If it is where you're meant to be, keep going for it, keep finding ways, keep evolving, and eventually you'll get to that point. Just don't give up on it. Does that help?
Yes, definitely. That was quite useful. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Ms. Tessy, I think we have taken a lot of time of yours, and you have next meeting. I would request them to leave messages at the YouTube or to you directly on LinkedIn. They have your LinkedIn, they can reach you out directly, and we really hope to catch you real soon. It was really helpful for many, and for me, it refreshed all of the struggles I did before, and I'm going to do much better from now on. I'm not losing my focus at all. So thank you, Tessy, for this lovely conversation. Thank you very much for your time. We are truly humbled. So Tessy, all the best. We will not take any single minute. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Mai.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I'm so refreshed. Like you said, refreshed. I feel, as I was speaking, it was also reinforcing the things that I need to do as well for myself going forward. I can't finish telling you not to give up and then I'll give up, so I'm going to keep going and keep going. And I look forward to sharing more amazing time with you guys. Thank you so much. I have to leave you guys now. So take care. See you in my LinkedIn. I'll be waiting for all the plenty messages. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Tessy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tessy.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Goodbye.